Greetings, grade 10, 11, and 12. Welcome to Learn with Menir Wasaval, whereby we are making, I'm making learning simple and also the success possible. All right, grade 10 and 11 and 12. All right, this is the topic of financial mathematics. So we'll be looking furthermore on financial mathematics questions and also the notes. But I will always start with making the learners to understand financial mathematics. So basically, guys, before going any further, you just need to understand the term financial mathematics. So for financial mathematics, finance, we're talking about money there. Oh, fine. But we're going to look at the money that you borrow, the money that you save, the money that you invest, and the money that you take on a loan or to loan sharks or any financial institutions. So basically, guys, I will be now doing some of the concepts that the examiner is always using on the question papers. Those are, I will just say, terms whereby they are mostly used, and I will also show you guys how we go about if you are given a maybe let's say you are given a simple interest, which formula to use, compound interest, which formula to use, monthly installments, and whatsoever and whatsoever. Nonetheless, okay, guys, I want us to start with a focus on what we call now finance. Finance, remember I said now we are dealing with money, but the focus is on the money that we invest or we borrow or we save. Are we fine? Okay, so now, guys, here on financial mathematics, I would just like us to do the concepts. The most concepts that have been there in your exams or that will be there in your question papers set by the examiners. Okay, guys, concepts. I will just start with number one. Number one, it is just usual. Let us talk about the interest. Fine. Let us talk about the interest. We'll be talking about the interest now. Okay, guys. When we come to an interest, interest is the money or the percentage. In fact, let's talk about interest. Interest is the money that you gain or the money that you pay after using a certain money. Are we fine? That means it is the money that is added to the money that you have used. Are we fine? But once we start talking about interest rate now, it talks about the percentage added on the money that you have used or the money that you have saved. Are we fine? Yes, so that is an interest. So we'll be focusing on interest and whatsoever types of interest and whatsoever. All right, then number two, we'll be dealing with now there's a term that is mostly used by the examiners to say, okay, now I want us to talk about um that will be, in fact, let us just leave the simple interest and compound interest. We'll do them one by one. Okay, it is interest, and the second one will be, now let us talk about what we call now investment. Investment. If not investment, that will be savings. I hope you're fine. I'm fine. Okay, so talking to investment, we're talking about savings. All right, so basically, guys, what you need to understand, remember I said the interest is the money that it is added whereby you have took a loan or you have invested or saved any amount of money per month or any time of period that you'll prefer. Okay, so now when you invest, remember I said you always add what? We always add an interest on that investment or any savings. All right, so that you must bear in mind. Okay, now the third one that will be we'll talk about borrowing in simple terms. If not borrowing, that's a loan. I find, guys. Okay, guys. So when we borrow money, always interest is always there. There's an interest that you need to pay after a certain period of time when you have used that money. Are we fine? Okay, guys, so when you invest, remember when you invest, it's either you invest and you get your money after a certain period of time that you have preferred. And also when you borrow, you get money current. You get it now, guys. You receive it now. Are you fine? So basically, you're going to pay the certain amount of money after the time, a certain period. Are we fine? So basically, guys, what you need to understand here between these two things is that investment, it is where now you invest and you get the money in the next maybe let's say period of time. Are we fine? But when you borrow, you get money now already. Like these two things, you have money now. So we'll be discussing two types of things whereby you get money now and you receive money now, or you get money in the next future or in the next period of years. Né? Okay, guys. So now these are the terms that the examiner is always using, and the other one that will be let's talk about a hire purchase. Examiner is always using hire purchase agreements. I will just say agreements. Né? Okay, guys, so what you need to understand here, guys, on hire purchase agreements is just simple and straightforward. So basically, guys, on hire purchase agreements, we're talking about now, we are focusing on two things. We are relating to the furniture. If not the furniture, those we call them household appliances. Are we fine? When you buy maybe let's say a bicycle, a car, and whatsoever, there are some certain amount of money or flow of money that will be asked for or whatsoever. But basically, this hire purchase agreement deals with what we call now deposits. Now there are always some certain deposit that you need to pay before doing what, before purchasing a certain good. So now, guys, what I can say now, all right, we have dealt with interest. Interest is always added on investment or savings. We have dealt with interest again. Interest is also added on borrowing or any loan. Are we fine? And also interest, it can also be added on on hire purchase agreements. But basically, most of the time, examiner always use this word, deposit. So basically, there's a deposit that you need to pay before purchasing a certain good. Are we fine? Yes. So now, these are some terms that the examiner will use on your question paper now. All right, now, there's another one that is called an inflation or inflation rate. So let's talk about inflation. Inflation, guys, okay, let me just say inflation rate, by the way. Okay, guys, so inflation rate now. Inflation rate talks to the percentage now, whereby now there are some changes now. Okay, when you talk about inflation, let me just explain this. This is we say it's a steady increase in the prices of goods and services over time through the economy. Are we fine? That is the definition of what? Of inflation. So a rate, that is percentage. Are we fine? There's some certain percentages that are going to be added or increased or decreased in your the prices of the goods and services. So these are some of the terms that are being used by the examiner in the question papers. But basically, this information is basically for grade 10 and 11, but 12 mostly. Sometimes they use future values and also advanced information. But now let us focus on these things for now. Okay, now after knowing that we have dealt with interest, we have dealt also with investment, borrowing, hire purchase agreement, inflation rate. We will be discussing these one by one, guys, so that you can understand financial mathematics, so that you cannot fail when term 3 papers comes now. Are we fine? Okay, so now I want us to focus now. Remember, I've talked about interest, but so there are two types of interest that we all know. We have simple interest and also compound interest. So I want us to focus on those two types of interest. So now, guys, let me just note it down here. Two types of what? Two types of interest. So guys, here on these two types of interest, this is when I will be focusing on their concepts. You understand? So we'll be focusing, number one, we'll be focusing on simple interest. So now when we talk about simple interest, guys, this is the type of an interest whereby it is basically happening or you only used for a short term period. Ne? Simple interests are only used for short-term period. So I will just note it down there to say, okay, they are only used for what, my guys? So they're only used for short-term periods. These are for short-term periods. Are you fine? This is an interest of a short-term period, whereby it also involves two things. The investment, it's either is short-term of investment, and what? And a loan. In fact, let me just say or loans. I find, guys. So basically, guys, remember I've dealt with investment and a loan. So a simple interest involve investment and a loan, but in a short time period. Are we fine? Okay, guys. So now on simple interest, what we just need to learn, guys, on simple interest is just where does the formula of simple interest come from? Okay, guys, when you talk about simple interest now, this is where now the focus now will be on what? Will be on the formula, guys. I want us to deal with the formula, guys. Formula. Are we fine? Okay, so now the formula, let us just, I will just try to derive. I know the formula that you always use, it's A equals to P into 1 plus IN all divided by 100. I found this is the original formula that you are using for simple interest when you want to calculate the value of either A or P or either N or N. All right, so now I want us to derive where does this formula comes from now. Okay, from your grade 8 and 9 content, guys, they have taught you that, okay, now on the simple interest formula, they said that, okay, for simple interest formula, guys, this is what is always happening. So basically, when you want to know where that simple interest formula comes from, this is where now it comes from. Okay, so now when we calculate the simple interest, remember interest is the money or the amount of percentage or the amount of money that is added on either the investment, the amount of investment or the amount of what? Of a loan that you have took from a financial institution. Okay, guys, so now that means when you want to calculate simple interest, we're just going to say, okay, OA. OA refers to original amount. I hope you're fine. I don't want to write it in a big way because it's not going to fit in the board. So OA refers to original amount. Okay, that will be multiplied by what now, guys? That will be multiplied by the percentage. The percentage interest per period divided by how much, guys? By 100. Are we fine? Multiplied by what again? Number of period. Number of periods. This is how simply we calculate the what? The simple interest. So now remember, we haven't calculated the final amount of the investment or either the loan. We are just using the formula for simple interest. Are we fine? Okay, now guys, bear in mind, I want you to know this. That means this will be therefore SI for simple interest equals to OA. Remember, is the original amount. So the original amount, that will be P. I find then that will be plus the simple interest. That will be how much, guys? That will be, okay, this one we will just say it will be SI. Are we fine? So basically the formula for SI, before coming here, guys, I just want us to understand. Okay, before coming here, let us just write this formula in a correct way. That will be P multiplied by N multiplied by what? By R. That means we call it P and R. P is for what? The original amount, and N is for what? The number of periods, and R is for what? The percentage interest per period. Divided by how much, guys? That will be divided by 100. So now we can see that, okay, for simple interest, we are just using what? The P and R divided by 100. Okay, now talk to me. Now, when we want to, this is the formula for simple interest, the interest that is added on either the investment or the loan. So now we want the final amount of the investment or either the loan. How much will we get? Okay, so the formula is that we're going to use, okay, that will be final amount. Final amount will be equals to the what, conjugate, guys? That will be the original amount, of which is what, guys? That will be the original amount. That is the value of P plus what, guys? Plus, okay, plus SI. Remember, that means the original amount plus the interest added. That will give you the final amount of your investment or the loan that you're going to get after a certain period of time. Okay, now bear in mind. So that means for final amount, we will consider that as if it's what? It is the value of A equals to. He's still having what? The value of P here. But remember on SI, where we see SI, we're just going to put what, guys? Plus P and R divided by 100. So that from algebraic expressions, guys, if you have watched my video, that means we have a common thing here, of which is the value of p. That means if we have a common thing, we just take it out as a common factor. That means we're going to take p as a common factor. Then we what, introduce the bracket. That means here we're going to have 1 plus, we cancel p there. That will be left with nr divided by how much, guys? By 100. So basically, guys, this is the formula. This is where where it comes from on the original amount. But now most of the learners are being confused by nr here, but here we have ni. How so? Okay, guys, this is the information that you need to understand. For I, guys, for I is equals to r divided by 100. So that means where we see I, we can put r divided by 100, whereby r is treated as what? Percentage interest per period, according to grade 8 and 9. But now, if you see r, that means we can put I multiply by what? Multiply by 100. I is still an interest rate, guys. I hope you're fine. So this is where now the formula comes from, guys. So I want us to go further and more for the what? For the compound interest. Now I want us to introduce the compound interest. Okay, so now I hope you understand this part, guys. Are you fine? All right, let us move quickly to compound interest. Let us move quickly to compound interest, of which that is number 2 of the types of interest. No? Okay, guys. All right. So number 2, guys, remember I said you're going to deal with what? That will be compound interest. So compound interest, now we just need to understand the formula and whatsoever. We don't have to derive, we don't have to do whatsoever. It comes from whatsoever simple interest. So now, guys, compound interest, this is where now the person is putting the money or investing the money time and time per month. You understand? So each and every month he deposits a certain amount of money. Each and every month deposits a certain amount of money. But that is maybe let's say if you deposit 500, you deposit 500 per month, like just like that, for maybe for the period of 3 years. You always deposit in 500. How you find? So now this is where it comes from. What now? Listen. Okay, I will just say, guys, this one, it happens only for a long term. It's used for only for long term periods. So compound interest is only used for long term periods. That is what you need to understand between the simple interest and also compound. And what you need to understand, guys, it also involves what? It's either the investment. So when you invest, you are not investing like a simple interest. You are just investing per month, but in a period of how many years? 3 years. Okay, so now it's either you invest or you pay a loan. So if you pay a loan, you're going to pay, maybe let's say they talk to you to say, okay, no, if you took a loan of 1,000 rand, in the next 3 years, you just per month, you need to pay maybe let's say 250 per month. You understand? So that means it keeps on increasing and increasing. You understand? All right. So now the formula now, guys, when you come to the formula, let us talk about the formula now. The formula for compound interest, it's the same as A equals to P into 1 plus, that will be I, all divided by 100. But now the n is not inside because that is not simple interest. Why we are putting the n as an exponent is because you keep on depositing the money or withdrawing the money within the period of 3 years. Are we fine? Per month. Are we fine? Yes, but this nonetheless is simple. It is the same thing. This A is for final amount, and this P is for the original amount or the original. Or maybe let's say most of the school they say that is the principal's amount. That means that is the amount that you invest or the amount that you have took for a loan. Are we fine? Then I is for the interest rate charged per amount. Then n, that is for number of periods, as we always know. So if you can get this, guys, you will never ever go wrong. So guys, okay, now what I want us to explain now, but before I explain, make sure that you subscribe, guys. You click that subscribe button, you like, you comment any topic or any question that you do not understand, you just leave it on a comment, then we will come and look at it together, guys. But now, for now, guys, I just want us to end here. Then you will focus on the other the other second video, whereby we're focusing on what? On the higher purchases, the inflation rate, and also grade 11 content, whereby they're talking about the reducing balances, and whatsoever, the transcript, the scrapbook, and whatsoever, guys. So just make sure that you click that button and watch my next episode or video on the next second video. Guys, make sure that you subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. This is your Menier Roosevelt. Welcome to Learn with Menier Roosevelt, whereby we are making learning simple and also success possible. Thank you very much, guys. Danko.